How's everyone doing today? We're continuing with our work. I've actually been working on this. I thought to just come online to stream my work. Hope everyone is good though. 1 second.
Then out. Now you're at.
Share the link. Just share the link in case anyone is interested in what I'm working on. It's not able to infer. I think we might actually return an option here. So here we could be returning none instead. Field name. If we use this approach, there's no way we can tell that I wasn't able to infer that. But what about the depth of inference? Is it just the top level inference we're concerned about, or we only need just one? I can also prioritize the inference. So field relation type, path token. Think what I want to do is infer them by parity. So we could infer, we could make this parity 1, the type path, and actually this might be parity 1. So, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 160 Now we're doing this according to parity. And that means we could also still have this. because this should be mutually exclusive based on the priority. You should be able to infer the table type as a record. In this case, that would be This should be able to. how to project TTTT or TT. How to project is this to set up VS Code and Python code. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but probably you're talking about my IDE. So I'm using NeoVim, not VS Code, but I'm using VS Code theme. And yeah, I got your question correctly. No, I need the table name. taking too much time to load. computer is slowing down a little bit, but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. So essentially what I want to do now is try to get the attribute to work. So prior to this, I actually had cross validation of the field type attribute, basically the the database type attribute against the Rust field type. But I'm still contemplating and I'm reconsidering whether or not I should reinstate that because I had already implemented that prior to this. I removed that part because I guess there are trade-offs to make, right? Just like everything in life, there's usually trade-offs, and I am not very clear yet on what side I want to like err on, right? So I will give that a little bit of thought before I decide on whether or not. And of course, there are also, or there's an approach I could use to basically have your cake and eat it. So essentially, I could support this cross validation of the database type against the Rust type using certain heuristics. However, basically, we're making trade offs between are we erring on the side of having false positives or false negatives? And in the case of, regardless of the side we're also erring on, would it be fine if there would be an extra attribute to skip all the check? So if you're very sure that this is exactly what it should be and what you want, then you can basically say relax or skip. You can think of these as an any type in TypeScript, or I would say in Rust something analogous would be smart pointers. It's not exactly the same, you know. Smart pointers still have some extra physiological benefits, right? Beyond just getting around the borrow checker. Um, yeah, so it's not just about getting around the borrow checker. At the end of the day, fundamentally, you can look at it as that, but I believe it's beyond that, right? Because when you have your atomic reference count, for example, basically arc, that's if you're trying to share an object between threads, right? You need to use that, and when it's single threaded, you use just the basic barebone ref cell or cell. So in that case, it's not just for the type checking, but they actually have purposes that they serve, right? You can use your arc, like I said, to protect your mutex if you're expecting like mutual exclusion in terms of operation on data across threads, and if you're not writing or modifying the data, then you don't need mutex. So but the closest analogy I can think of in Rust would be smart pointers, but actually Rust also does have an any type. I believe it's under this module, any, yeah, Rust actually does have an any type. So this is probably a fairer or more reasonable comparison. But anyway, what I'm trying to, besides fixing this existing stuff that I'm trying to do, and my computer is slowing down a little bit, my brain is a little bit slow also. What I want to focus on is deciding on that and going with whichever approach I deem more reasonable. I could make a poll also. Other than that, I'm gonna update the tests, and I just wanna have I just want to implement one last feature before the release, which would be if you've used TypeScript before, it's the pick and omit utility types or functionalities. Basically, they allow you to pick and skip fields from an object or from a type, or struct is the closest in Rust. I'm trying to implement the same thing, and there are reasons you might want to do that. So in Rust, you it's tend like we tend to favor composition more than inheritance and stuff like that. So if you're gonna do something similar in Rust, you're gonna use something like if you're rather than picking from an object, let's say you have a user object as the base object. In TypeScript, what you can do is you might be interested in creating uh, admin user, student user. So these are like user variants, and some of them might actually require an extra field, or like you might want to remove some of those fields. So essentially, they have this minor variation in attributes depending on the kind of users that they are. So in TypeScript, the way you can approach this with a type is basically to use the pick and omit type. So you can pick some fields and you can omit certain fields. That in combination with extend allows you to do a lot of stuff and flatten them. So alternatively, of course, you could create a user struct or type or interface in the case of like TypeScript. Then you can create another interface or type and just make that an extra field. So you can think of it as a nested object or an embedded object. That's something you can do also. But people tend to prefer flattening the structure of their interface or type or object just for the convenience. I would say that's the prime reason why people don't want to do the nesting. So in Rust, what you do if you want to achieve something similar is you use this concept called flattening. So it's essentially using the Serde, using the Serde functionality that allows you to spread certain fields from the nested object to the current object. So you can think of it spreading basically all the fields from user to admin user or student user. However, the problem with this is that it's only obeys that for the serialized value. So your Rust will still have the nested object itself. Your Rust code will have that, because you don't have the information, the introspection in the code to traverse the the nested object fields token at compile time, right? At least Rust doesn't yet support that. So when you're doing macros in Rust, it's a morphological manipulation than a physiological manipulation. And what I mean by this is that it's based on the code, the tokens, what you can see, and know what they represent internally. So basically, I'm using some ideas and heuristics and combination of functionalities to achieve similar stuff that you could do in TypeScript. And don't forget, there are also different languages. TypeScript support like structural typing, while Rust is mostly nominal. So what does that mean? In TypeScript, if you have a user type or interface, and it has like a name field and ID field, and you create a separate interface. Let's say you call that primary user or something else. As long as they have the same fields, the same types, they are considered equivalent, right? You can achieve nominal typing, like a workaround in TypeScript by using classes. But anyway, that's just what's on my mind and what I'm trying to achieve now. And the match between England and Switzerland just started, so I'm already watching that. But let's see if I can still do some more stuff on stream before I call it a day. So essentially, in custom type preference here 106, we've got this. Now we've changed that, we're passing the entire object, so we could as well just take that away. And where else? We model attributes, let's check that out. Okay, we have line 141. Okay, that seems to complain. Option, oh yeah, prior to this we were using this as something fallible. So what's it complaining about now? Oh, I see. That's actually what we want, because this is fallible. So we need to revert that, and this should be an extractor result. Put that in, and what else? So we'll take this. Just okay. That now we would need to change that. The reference sites to we're doing that. So, yeah. So basically, what we can do. My computer is slowing down a little bit. That's why. But we will make it work regardless. Cargo check. Normally my editor should catch this, but my computer is slowing down and I might have to run this. Okay, that's interesting. What is going on? User regenerates. Alright, so two arguments, see where the might be coming from. Oh, I see. Probably generating something else. I see. Let's expand that. That's really cool. What are you making, Tim Pierce? So basically, I'm making a database tooling in Rust. You can think of this. It's not just an ORM. It's also a query builder. It's a static analytic analytics tool. I'm tongue tied. But anyway, it also does your query checking at compile time. So when you write, let's say you write a SQL query, select something from this. If you mistype something or you miss a field or you're not properly doing something right, you get a feedback instantly. So that's the idea. So that's just one thing. Then it also does your migration automatically. And as far as I'm concerned, this would be the first Rust framework or library, whichever you think it is, that actually supports full fully automated schema migration as far as I'm aware of. So that's the idea. The idea is just to make it easy for you to work with database and make it intuitive, and you don't have to care about the details and mistakes. And also, it's make sure that whatever mistakes you make, you catch them instantly. That's the philosophy, and of course, be ergonomic and easy to work with. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. And currently, I'm supporting a graph database called SurrealDB, but the plan is to expand that to other database. So this started more as an experiment after trying a bunch of libraries in Rust, and I wasn't satisfied with it. I thought I had like a different idea on how things can be executed. So I just took a weekend to start working on the project, and it's been 2 years now, but I'm on the verge of completion. So I'm quite excited. For a couple of months, I was doing some other stuff, so I stalled the progress a little bit. But now I'm back and quite excited. How are you doing? Thanks for joining in. And let me know if you have more questions or any other questions. Happy to answer. Happy to help. Where are you chatting from? How did you find the channel? I'm just curious. So it's tags. Um, we shouldn't have a box here because I mean it's not a big issue when we stringify it, but we're not doing any kind of recursive stuff. We don't need that smart pointer here, but it's a different thing. It's complaining about this having a second argument. Fair enough, we could do this. So we need to fix that because it's expecting the second argument. So where can we find that? Define fields. That was somewhere here. Type is record table, and that makes sense. Makes it easy to work with. I see. Let's check the inference. Yep, because now we're doing that as we. Alright, 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 alright. Paste and path. Paste and interesting. I wonder why I'm using an object here. Provide the inner type. Oh, that was my previous implementation, but I wouldn't want to do it this way. No. This is a different stuff, a separate thing, but I'll just fix. I might as well just fix this problem here. Let's minimize. Let's just put let's make it away. Now we'll do this. Revelation. Tax. So it should be. It must have been inferred. So that's based on the structure of the code. Let's check based on the structure, because I should have been inferable from the structure. Structure. Alright, so I guess this could be empty here. Oh, it's optional. Damn. Because option of a token stream is also a valid token stream. So if it's optional, what we can do. But hold on. Oh, I see. We get land, we map, right? So if we get something, we are only doing this when we get something. What I should actually be doing is essentially I could, let's see what this returns, an expression. If I need to check that, it actually just occurred to me that I've not been using. I think I've never used an and then in this code base. That's actually crazy. Oh, okay, that maybe twice. And I've written the. I usually just use map, but in this case, let's see. So what does it do? If it's sum, and then you do something. Okay. Sum. But then the screen. So this might be more appropriate in this context. So let's say we get the expression. Okay. Let's say we get the expression, right? We can then do this. But I would still like to check if it's optional. Of course, first, like, let me do the quick fix. What we can do is, regardless of this outcome, if this is actually none, we can do something like unwrap or else. We don't even need else, because this is not this shouldn't be expensive. Codes. Anyway, we don't want, so basically what or else does is to do lazy evaluation of this. So if you never hit this, it's never gonna even do that at all. Anyway, so in this case we should actually get a token stream and not an option. So if we go back, let's say what was that? Yeah, it's, so first I see it was here a little less screaming. Let's take that off and reload. So yeah, now we get something, right? But we can improve things slightly. So now we're getting the option, yeah. So definitely this, that was returning none, and that would make sense, right? Let's see, we can probably simplify this a little bit. We can, but then I think this is probably fine, because I'm wondering if we could get an empty expression. In that case, we still want to check if it's empty, and if it's empty, so in this case we're mapping that, we're saying that we're getting this. And also, what something else I could have done like map or else, but I don't know, I just kind of prefer this maybe. So I could have done map or else there, or yeah, let's clean that up a bit. Non-token, token. So let's just copy this first, paste that, and make this map or else. Or we can just use or in this case, since we're already eagerly evaluating that anyways. So we map, I believe which is something I don't like, the actual stuff would be the second argument and the default would be the first. I guess that makes sense. This is the default. What we're like fallback, but that's depends. Your mileage might vary. So in that case, we don't need unwrap or anymore. We can basically remove that, and here we can just do non-token. So what's the moved? We can make that ref, or actually let's put it here, reference, and this also ref. But this will probably fail because we're trying to create the object within the scope, and we're trying to return from within that scope, and this will go out of scope. It will be basically invalid outside these braces. So if we want to sort that out, we can just do that here. Some so now we will just be making a reference to this outside of this scope. That we need that, but I know what to do. But still we'll be creating that within that, yeah, we'll be creating the object within the scope. Oh, okay. I think the best, we can clone of course, but the best thing in my opinion to do was, the best thing to do in my opinion would be, let's revert that, right? So since this is essentially a fallback, what we can do is, of course, we can clone this and just do clone and be done with it, be good. But we shouldn't have to do that because we're already doing an eager evaluation. A way for us to still eat our cake and have it is just do lazy evaluation. So now we're using a closure to achieve that. So with this, we'll still be able to do lazy evaluation of that. It doesn't. It does actually matter because there is a possibility that this never gets called. You only get, like, if we get an expression that is not empty, we're only gonna call this. So in that case, this is never gonna fire. So this helps with the code deduplication, and at the same time cleans things up a little bit. So we could just use that right here. Okay, we're ready. Aren't we referencing that? Yeah, we are. Oh yeah, we copied that. So let's clean that up. The second one. Yep. And that should still work. Was it here? Let's remove that. Let's refresh. Let's remove. And let's reload the macros. So that should fix that. It looks like that is fixed actually, and we're still able to clean it up. So let's check a little bit. Where was that? It was with define field? With tags, I believe. Yeah, so we're getting the second argument, and that is exactly what we want. Right here also we're getting the second argument, which is great. Okay, so let's see, we can call that fix option array type a second argument. Okay. So we've got something else here. Let's investigate that. Okay. So the first one is, oh, we've got this, and that is exactly why I probably want to be doing this instead. But that may not be a possibility if it's a foreign field. So we might still have to do this. And if we're gonna do that, we will either have to do this or we use a turbo fish. So we use a fully qualified path. So that's actually interesting. Do we have the generics? Oh, cool. We do have it. So essentially, in this case, let's see. I think the lifetime can be inferred from the code, and we might not actually need the lifetime here. That is my thoughts. We might not need a lifetime here. But anyway, whichever ways, if we do need a lifetime there, let's see, would that be inference? I guess that would be in ID. I guess that's the advantage of using this first approach, because that will be stringified. That should be like this. Inference by relation. Yep. So user, I guess that was link many. Alright, I see. Now that we're supporting generics, we might need to cover a bit of an edge case here. So what I'm gonna do is essentially extract that into brace. Now let's first add braces, then extract that into variable. Let's see. One thing we could do is double fisheye. So that's what that does. I've created a helper function to make that into a turbo fish that returns a result. Just bubble it up and we get that. So this should make it into a turbo fish, and alternatively we should be able to, I believe I should remove lifetime or whatever. We could just pass the identifier and remove the lifetime, but let's just do the turbo fish for now. And we might need to do the same thing elsewhere. Ref node, because we're using the self node. So let's do the same. Yeah, first. No, do we have? Okay, we already have that there, and we could just say, I'm gonna just copy this and that would be self node, right? Let's do the same here. Add braces, and yeah, we could just essentially copy the same. Next array, we might have to do the same here. Interesting. So what we can do there is basically into, we should have into, oh, it doesn't. That's interesting. Doesn't it implement into, that's actually interesting to me. Yeah, it does. Or, oh, I see. I believe that was custom. Nest array turbofished. But yeah, if that is the case, there should be into inner here. It should give, that is weird. Into inner. I'm missing something. Oh, I see. I see. I believe this was an oversight. I'm missing something. Can need it for both. Is it private? Custom title fish. It doesn't look like it's private. Um, I think I see it. Yeah, I think I see that. not getting the turbo fish here, but it's possible that this has not fully reloaded. Let's reload it. Amazing this. Yeah, I think I'll probably just do take a little break and continue off stream. And I would like to finish. I'd like to finish this PR ASAP so I can move on. But thanks to everyone that has joined today. I will be sure to be on tomorrow again and be more frequent. But yeah, I would just like to get this project done. I really don't want it to get beyond the week we're like getting into. I want to be done with it and move on to other projects because I've got a bunch of other projects that this is supposed to be a foundational project to my other projects. So I would like to be done with it ASAP and just to share with the community so other people can benefit from it. But thanks to everyone that has joined the stream, the questions, and check out the link in GitHub. It's in my bio, not my bio, but basically in the description below. Check it out, and if you wanna connect, feel free to connect, and I'll be back again. Stay code breathing and stay careful, cheerful. Maybe not careful, but not reckless. But just enjoy, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.